Let me ask you something. How long have you been getting ready to start? Like really? Like how long? Because I just coached a student who went through years of training, videos, classes, practice tests, but never took the leap. And when he finally did take the exam, guess what happened? He failed. Then he disappeared. I'm talking about for years. Just ghosted. Didn't even give himself another chance to even try and come back. And listen, I don't say that to be funny. I say that because a lot of y'all are doing the exact same thing. Let me tell you a story. Long time ago, back in 1519, it was a conquistador who landed in Mexico. And you know what he told his men? Burn the boats. No retreat, no backup plan. We either conquering this thing or we dying right here. And guess what? They end up conquering. Now listen, man, I'm not saying that taking A plus is like invading Mexico, but you got to burn your own boats. Stop leaving the back door open for failure. Stop saying I'll try again later, because later becomes never. So this actually reminds me of another guy too. I knew a guy way long ago, back in the army, who spent 6 months prepping just to ask a girl out. He ran the playbook, got a new haircut, new cologne. He even started jogging and working out. One day, we hyped him up to finally shoot his shot. And guess what? She actually was already married. He waited so long, he missed his moment. The same thing happens in tech. You're waiting for the perfect time, but the truth is this: there is no perfect time, only right now. So in this coaching session, you're going to watch me walk a student through how to restart, how to deal with fear, and most importantly, how to finally make a move. Because until you take that first swing, you just shadowboxing with success. Let's get into it. So I just did the calculations, right? If you are right, hopefully you're sitting down and you ain't got no heart problems. But if you are right and you're working 105 hours a week, right, making $75,000, $70,000 a year, that is $12.82 an hour.
Wow.
So the other opportunity that you had is actually a way better opportunity. Plus, it's going to free you up. Like that is crazy. Like you're literally working and sleeping. You ain't doing nothing else. Because I think a lot of times people don't account. That's what I always tell my guys and girls. Everything counts. So from the time you get up, you got to iron your clothes, you got to sit in traffic, you got to make all that stuff is work. The type of job that you have, you can't really escape. If you're watching the game or want to take a nap or out with your daughter, and you at any moment you're thinking about, oh man, what if this go down or what if that go down, and I got to do this, I got to do that. So you can't really be free. So you on call every day.
Yes. For a long time. Yes.
To be honest, another thing is I would definitely start. You the only guy. You the guy.
Yeah, I'm him.
Well, you have a lot of leverage. You should. You got a lot of leverage. If you don't show up, and then things happen, God forbid you get sick or whatever, you get exhausted, don't want to come. A lot of stuff sounds like it's either going to break or, stuff is going to go left. So I would definitely, after we get off this, because I think you said you're at work or at work right now, I would definitely get off this call and just, sit down, guy here, I'm on call. I can't be with my daughter. I don't really got a personal life. My whole life is centered around this job, my phone, my laptop, working, fixing all this stuff. I need to get compensated a little bit more, or I need y'all to bring somebody else in, or me to have a little bit of help, because me being on call for the last couple of years or however long you said, that's just not conducive to work-life balance and just being healthy, really. And then you said you ready to, don't tell them that part, but you said you're ready to tap out any day. So I would definitely, whoever your boss is, whoever your manager is, kind of have that conversation. And also that'll give you more motivation if you talk to them and they like, oh, well, you've been doing it. Should give you even more motivation. Like it's time to go elsewhere and do something else. Your brain is exhausted, and God didn't make no mistake when it comes to that. He wants you to go to sleep. If he didn't want you to go to sleep, he wouldn't make sleep a part of the thing. You got to sleep to be real rested. So what do you usually do? You kind of like a Red Bull guy, or like how do you kind of be staying up? So okay, man, this is simple. This is simple. This is stuff that's like literally right in front of your face. One, we have to have that conversation with our manager to get better rest, to get better sleep. Because without better sleep and without that cognition and that recall, you can't pass certifications, just being honest. Because it's like on your job, you got to be able to think critically, you got to be able to analyze stuff. And without proper rest, like you never having a day off, never having a breakaway, never having time to yourself, your brain never it's just like any other thing. Just like if I sit here and I do bicep curls for 3 years straight, that my damn arm probably ain't gonna work too good, right? So that's kind of the same way with your brain. You need to rest. And I know you said eventually. I think you need to have a conversation today. Like today, unless you just too wore out. And that's another thing. If you too wore out or too blew out to even have that conversation, it's like it's even more important. But I still want to talk about the certification thing though. So when it comes to because you got I looked at your LinkedIn, you got a bunch of training, but no, have you ever actually tried to take an exam? So, like I said, the first thing is, you just gotta, for one, recognize that mental exhaustion, that's valid. You're not lazy, you're not whatever. You already know. It's just like I'm just tired, man. It's just hard. This is what I would say though. I'll keep on telling you this. You got to talk to your manager and tell them they got to figure out something else, just so you can, have some time to reset and come back, bigger, stronger, faster. But what I would do is you still got 20 minutes, right? You still got
Yeah.
30 minutes a day. So I would definitely recommend, literally, this is what I tell my guys and girls. Throughout the day, every day, just set a timer for 20 minutes. And for that 20 minutes, you locked in. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. If they call you, they'll be okay. You're the only guy anyway, what they're going to do. And just study whatever it is, just study that one section or that one domain, and then just keep on going from there. And in 20 minutes, I mean, toward 20-minute increments, you got an hour and a half done in every week, and that's better than nothing. Because I'm pretty sure you already know, like time is going by so fast. If you keep on putting this off, keep on putting this off, keep on putting this off, it's gonna be, 2 or 3 more years later, and you're still gonna be on call, still, stressed out, still not, really having a life outside of work. So that's one thing I would definitely do is whether it's A plus, which is where I would definitely start at for you, or even IT fundamentals, either one, just because with your current situation, you're not really having a lot of time, you're not really having a lot of energy. Really, I may advise to back up to ITF plus just because I don't want you to take A plus again because you said you took it a few years ago. It's pretty difficult. Pretty much now, what you took a couple years ago, that's pretty much what the ITF plus is now. So I would definitely recommend one of those two things because like I said, I won't want you to take another L on A plus, and then a couple more years, like, oh well, this ain't for me, blah blah, and just stay stuck and stay where you at, because that's the big picture. One, you got to get more rest, you got to get more time for yourself. Two, you have to get a certification to get out of your job and go to another job, and get more opportunities because with your experience, that's one of the biggest things. You got a lot of experience, and on top of that, you're a hard worker. You got the work ethics, all the stuff you're doing, all the experiences that you had, that's gonna look great on a resume. But the whole thing is that certification is gonna be your roadblock.
Right.
Without that certification, it's like literally a running into a brick wall. You can do a bunch of resumes, you can put out a bunch of applications without that certification. Honestly, especially like in Tennessee, it's gonna be a lot more difficult than it should be. Also your job, may have their finger on the pulse a little bit more than you. That might be why they kind of running you into the damn ground because they know like, oh, he ain't going nowhere. So I think that's one of the biggest things that you have to kind of show them like, hey, I'm willing to leave, man, because this is crazy, And then, like I said, most people want to last it as long as you. So pat on the back, but it's kind of time to do something for yourself. The laptop or the computer or even the phone, you can buy a cheap little burner phone or something that I study on, right? So it can kind of separate your work from other stuff. Because when you're looking at your laptop, look at you, all you're thinking about is work. That's kind of what you associating your laptop with, work, phone about to ring. You can't even think right. Then it's probably, whatever applications, whatever you use, they're probably saved in your browser, or it's a document on your desktop or something that kind of reminds you, oh, damn, I do got to do this. I do got to do that. So it's one
Yeah.
of the things I would do for sure is separate the devices that you use for work and the devices that you use for studying. Because like I said, I'm not trying to get too woo-woo, but it's just definitely just your mind is trained like, okay, once I see the laptop, it's time to go through these
That makes
troubleshooting,
sense.
or it's time to do this, do that. So you got a silver laptop, and that's for, the work stuff. You got a blue laptop or a red laptop, and that's just for studying. I ain't got no work applications on this. I ain't got no other, this is me. This is for me. This is for them. This is for me, right? Because it's hard, especially when you've done something for so long. You kind of got to break that mental block and that mental chain of, pretty much being a damn digital slave. Like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that, and you can't even really think, but you just, and then I would even say, and this is the same thing that I tell all my students, and it works. Another thing is just think about whether you write it down, record yourself, whatever, what these certifications can do for me. Like if I just 20 minutes or an hour, 30 minutes, or just go take it, what will it do for me? And we already said a few, but one, it's gonna give you way more leverage at your current job. Like, look, man, not only do I have this experience, I've been doing all this by myself. Now I got A plus, or now I got security plus. Now they know, like, I can go over and get another bag. I can go over and do something else, and maybe they'll be more willing. Two, it'll just give you more opportunities just in general, whether it's to work remotely, whether it's to, just get another job. And two, like I said, it'll open up. That's what the biggest thing I think you need to look at too is time, right? Especially as old, you're getting older, or just as old, every year passes, time is
Yeah.
super important, and they taking a lot of it from you. They're taking a whole hell of a lot of it from you. Like your life isn't even yours right now.
So what you charge for mentorship, like accountability partners and stuff like that?
It really depends. Just to be honest, in the Zero to IT Hero program, I meet with people every day. Excuse me, just lied to you. I meet with people once a week in a class, like the class is today, and then usually have a one-on-one session once a week. So it's a group thing with the family, and then I meet with every student once a week just to make sure that they're on track, blah, blah, blah. And in that program, you get ITF plus, A plus, Net plus, and Security plus. Now that program is super expensive, so I don't know if that would be feasible for you. We could figure out something just with these one-off sessions, and then you can kind of go from there. But one good thing I think you should do, also have a program just for the ITF Plus. I think it's $297. It comes with a voucher and everything else, and that kind of give you step-by-step guidance, a roadmap, blah blah, and get you, like I said, get you that first win, and then you can kind of go from there. But it would kind of be up to you. If you want to do another coaching session, we can figure that out. If you want to do the ITF course, you can do that. If you want to try to apply for the Zero to IT Hero program, you can do that as well. But the next cohort for the Zero to IT Hero isn't open until September anyway. So, and I don't want you to, have to wait until then to kind of figure that out. Any one of those options, will kind of work for you. And then I could have one of my coaches reach out to you if you wanted to, just to kind of see, hey, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, blah, blah, blah. Because we can do a la carte or whatever, just because I just want to make sure that we get you into some training. And the reason I didn't bring up none of that shit before, just because I didn't want this to turn into like a sales call. But, we got, a bunch of options for you if you want to go with us. You just saw it plain and raw. That fear of starting, that delay is real. But what's even more real is the cost of doing absolutely nothing. This guy could have had a whole tech career by now, years of experience, promotions, pay raises, but fear made him pause. Don't let that be, your story. Let me remind you of something. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. The man literally invented failure before he invented the damn light. He said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work. And now we can charge our phones and binge Netflix at 2 o'clock in the morning because he kept showing up. But here's the play. If you're scared to start scared. If you failed before, fail forward, because every successful person you admire, they didn't just quit. Now, if you're stuck, if you're in a weird place where you're spinning your wheels, watching videos, studying, but nothing is really working, nothing is really moving, man, I got you. Book a call in the link below and get on my calendar. Let's talk, let's map it out, and figure out your next move. Not 6 months from now, not after I study a little bit more, but right now. Because success doesn't respond to how much you know. It responds to how fast you move. So the link's below. I'll see you on the call. Other than that, I'll see you in class.